everybody, welcome to Strumming with Christopher. I'm Christopher Gallegos with Monterey County Free Library's Gonzales branch. So, past two episodes we have discussed the blues and we've taken things that we've learned thus far, techniques, and started looking at them in the context of musical styles. Just meaning, okay, so we know these types of chords and these types of strums and rhythms. Okay, I have the tools, how do I build the house? Well, I start looking at types of houses. That's my analogy for the day. And blues is very, very important because a lot of music sprouts from it. Certainly a lot of Western music, popular music sprouts from it. You have folk sprouts from it. You know, you could say country, jazz, rock and roll. And it's kind of a foundation for a lot of music, especially here in the United States. A lot of music can be traced back to the blues in some way. And so it's probably a sound, even if we're not big fans of the blues, we've heard elements of the blues in, music throughout our lives, right? So today I want to talk about, to cap off this discussion about the blues, I want to talk about how we can use power chords, which we learned a while back, very, very simple chords that use two fingers, can move anywhere, and are on the low E and the A string, and the A string and the D string. Two notes, how we can use these power chords that are usually used in metal, punk, heavy metal, some rock, hardcore music. We can take these power chords and we can also use these to play the blues in a way. So we're not just thinking in terms of, pentatonic scale, seventh chords. No, you can use things like power chords too. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get into with this. We can use tools that we already have to explore styles. So how would we do that? Well, the blues there's different types of blues, right? There's acoustic blues, there's electric, Chicago blues, there's Delta blues, and a lot of times these styles are they come from certain regions of the U.S., Mississippi Delta, city of Chicago, but there was another type of blues that, I don't want to say it came and went, but it's kind of a happy, familiar sound, kind of like the early American piano style, ragtime too. And this style of music was called Boogie Woogie. And Boogie Woogie is essentially a 12-bar blues shape, but there's a very certain type of bass line. Okay, so while the chord changes may be the same 1-4-5 progression played in that 12-bar style that we've talked about, there's usually a certain kind of other thing going on there. And I'm just going to play it for you so you can kind of see what I'm getting at. Now, this is going to require a stretch on our part, our pinky, usually a small, weaker finger. It's good to work it out sometimes. We're going to use it in this example. So I'm going to be playing a G power chord, a C power chord, and a D power chord. So it's that 1-4-5 box shape again, right? We're already getting pretty familiar with this. With a bar chord, it would be like this, right? So it's going to be a 1-4-5 progression using power chords, but my pinky is going to be playing, depending on what I'm comfortable with, 1 or 2 extra notes. So I'm going to try and play 2, and it's a fun little stretch. Now listen to how this adds a lot of that bluesy flair to otherwise simple chords. Okay, and I'm also going to be using another technique called palm muting, which you don't have to do that, but I like how it sounds. So check this out. See if I can get this all in here. So I want to show you this little boogie woogie pattern, and you can use it to go around anywhere in the neck and just have fun. You know what I mean? It goes forever. So instead of using my usual A shape, I'm going to use a G shape today just because it sounds happy, right? So again, the 3 chords we're going to be using in this example, and then we can move it anywhere. We're going to be using a G power chord, C power chord, and a D power chord. Okay, so the basic fingering, you just have to have it the first time, and then you can just move it. And in this case, we're going to be here on the low E string, index finger on the 3rd fret, and then we're going to go down to the string below that, which is the A, we're going to have our ring finger on the 5th fret. So that's the G power chord. And then if you move down to the next set of strings, which is the A and the D, still on 3 and 5, you have that C power chord. And if you move that over 2 frets, index finger on the A string, 5th fret, and ring finger on the 7th fret, D string, that's the D power chord. So you have your 1-4-5 shape going. But this bluesy boogie woogie bass line that would usually be played on a piano, which with a piano you can do bass notes with your left hand and melody with your right hand, we can't do that, so we have to look at it differently. And the difference here is we're going to have our pinky, okay, playing 2 notes, and that's going to be like a little miniature bass line playing along. So we're playing the chord, but we're also kind of filling in the role of a big like stand-up bass or something like that, okay? So we have our G chord here, right? G5, power chord. I'm going to try and pick up here so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to be playing, let's just start out strumming that. Just think about 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then see if you can move your pinky over to fret 7 on the A string, okay? So let's try this. So. And then if you can move it over to the 8, can you do that? Do that on the with a C chord, same exact thing. So that's a big stretch. So the initial stretch is only 1 fret, right? So your finger's almost like a spider, your hand's almost like a spider here, but then can you go over to the 8, which is a 2 fret jump here. If you can't, you know, don't feel too bad. You just practice it. And if you're not comfortable with that stretch of 2 frets, you can still just go to the 7. So essentially, let's start with the G again. 3rd fret, 5th fret on the A, and then your pinky's going to be going to the 7th on the A for this G chord. Okay, so it'd be like, oh. See how that rhythm just starts coming naturally? So think about doing that little thing with a pinky with a 1-4-5 shape. Okay, so if you're comfortable, add that 8 in there on the G chord. When you want to go to the D, you would be index finger on the 5th fret, A string, 7th fret on the D string, and then your pinky would be going all the way down to the 9th string on the A, okay? So your pinky's going to be playing notes on the 2nd finger, on your ring finger side here, if that makes sense. Back to the C. Okay, so that's just a little shape you can move up and down, kind of like you would with a bar chord. And, you know, don't stress yourself out too much over it. Just have fun with it. Just realize, okay, maybe I've heard that before in an old movie or something, and that's blues. Okay? So we're taking something that you would not normally think of as being a blues shape, power chords, and with just one pinky to play some extra notes, you start getting that characteristic little swing, little bum ba bum ba bum ba bum bum. So it's just a little fun thing to think about. And that'll cap off our discussion about the blues for now. And we'll talk about some other stuff next time. Hope you guys have been enjoying this new direction. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.